Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Gligar. Gligar now much more readily available with this current event currently going on where Gligar is spawning in the wild. So I wanted to showcase a very strong team for Gligar along with Lickitung as well. Also, now more readily available, also spawning in the wild along with Gligar. And proves to be the best safe swap, of course, for yet another Go Battle League season. And rounding out the team, Dewgong in the back to provide some added bulk to the team, as well as being a very strong closer in the current meta of the Great League. Yeah, I really wanted to showcase Gligar for you guys, and what I did was I just took team number 2 from my top 5 best teams and subbed out Lantern for Lickitung. And speaking of Lantern, our opponent safe swaps into one after losing lead with a Annihilate. So we're going to chip this thing here. They let that go. That's phenomenal. And now we will put Licky onto this Lantern here. Yeah, so Licky is going to do just fine. What we want to do here is get ourselves low. We're going to just keep allowing these attacks to come through. We're not, of course, going to shield anything. You generally don't shield Licky, but we're definitely not shielding here because I don't want to leave this matchup healthy, and I don't want to give that Annihilate any more farm than necessary. So we're going to throw here, just go for the body slam, and that will KO the Lantern. We're still a little bit healthier than I'd like to be, but we are very close, or we did leave that matchup very close to a power-up. Going to go for that, and they do let that go, as they do know that they survived that. And now we can come in with our Gligar, and generally I would let an Ice Punch go, but you don't want to be tanking that from a Pokemon that hits as hard as an Annihilate. I'm fine tanking one from Medi, but not from an Annihilate. It does a lot. So they do come in with a Skarm here, and now we're in a good spot. Going to put our Dewgong here onto the Skarmory. We are down a shield. Generally, Dewgong performs quite well against Skarmory, particularly on even shields. But we are just going to keep spamming this thing with the Icy Winds. We do have to save a shield. We did let that first one go. I don't want to go completely down on shields. And we will expend the final shield here. Arguably could have just shielded that first one. So yeah, that's a little bit of a misplay there, but here we are. Throwing another Icy Wind at the Skarmory. We've got to keep an eye on the switch clock here. It is coming up. I am expecting a pivot here. Back into the Annihilate. Back in it comes. In we come with our Gligar. Gonna go for this Aerial Ace. And of course that will be KOing the Annihilate. And now we're still pretty healthy here. All of our damage is resisted, and we are going to survive a Sky Attack here. Of course, we have very nice bulk in the Great League, and you want to be going for Dig if you find yourself locked in onto a Skarmory here. It's they're both single resisted, but Dig is going to be the much more energy efficient move, and I don't think we'll even need that Icy Wind on our Dewgong. Holy smokes, Gligar hanging in, getting to an Aerial Ace, and we are saying bye-bye to the Skarmory. My goodness. Gligar coming in clutch up against one of its worst matchups to finish strong. Good game to them. Gligar and Dewgong form one of the most powerful cores in the Great League, and you add the best safe swap in the game, you've got a good team. But we had a juicy Trevenant lead there, but they safe swap a Vigoroth. So as good of a lead as that is, we have to stay right here. So in the Vigoroth matchup and a fairly fresh matchup, you will need Dig plus Aerial Ace. Just to let you guys know, although we don't see too many Vigs these days with the introduction of Annihilate into the meta, so this is pretty good for us here. I do believe we allow this next Body Slam to go through, and I think we're just going to go straight Aerial Ace here. I don't know about the IVs on this Vig, but generally you do need Dig plus Aerial Ace on a non-Shadow Gligar. Yeah, so that doesn't quite KO, but the Wing Attack does do the trick. The Vig is gone. They were happy to just let the Vig go. They did not shield anything, and in comes a Galarian Stunfisk. So Gligar very strong into the opponent's team here thus far, and they let the Dig go. They're putting a lot of hope and faith into that Trevenant, and they got a little bit antsy and they looked to go for a snipe. Nice snipe by them, but they have now locked themselves into a nightmare matchup here. They had no idea we had a Lickitung lurking here. Dewgong pretty good into Trev as well. So all three of our Pokemon here, phenomenal into a Trevenant. And I think we all know how this goes. Everything's resisted as far as charge moves, but it's the Lick fast move pressure that is really putting in work against the Trevenant here. And we're just going to let all this go. Dewgong will do just fine in the end game. That Stunfisk took a dig to the face, and yeah, they are in drill run range at this point. We can just let all this go here. We don't need to shield anything from this Trevenant. And we are going to go for the double resisted body slam here. It really doesn't matter what we go for, to be honest. And switch clock is up. Back in comes the G-Fisk. In comes our Dewgong. Up a shield, no less. And the opponent recognized it was not going to happen for that G-Fisk. And they do top left. Good game to them. I gotta admit, guys, Niantic came in pretty clutch with this event with Gligar and Lickitung spawning in the wild. And here we go, Whiscash lead. The only scenario where we win is in the twos, and I don't want to really go down on shield, so I usually like to catch the Scald onto Dewgong. Not only is Lickitung a powerful safe swap in the Great League, but Dewgong also a very strong safe swap. So sort of a dual safe swap dynamic here with this Gligar team, and they're staying in a little bit, and the reason why is because they're generally weak to a Dewgong in the back. That's why I find safe swapping the Dewgong, because I want to put in work and force the Whiscash to stay in longer than they'd like to stay in. They'll usually stay in long enough to tank an Icy Wind, and then they pivot, because with a Whiscash lead, you can bet the house there is at least a Scarm in the back. I have also seen it with an opposing Gligar in the back, so like a double flyer behind Whiscash, also AVA ground. So I'm thinking there's another Gligar on their end of the back, so we're going to bank an Icy Wind for later. Take advantage of the misaligned switch clocks and put Licky onto the Skarmory here. So this is sort of how you have to tap dance around the Whiscash Skarmory core. It is as strong as ever. It's on the map. Mudboy Skarm is back on the map yet again for season 17. So you kind of have to tap dance a little bit, and we're just gonna let all this go and hold on to the shields. They're doing the same. And gonna go for the body slam. That's what you'll want to do in this Skarmory matchup. And as you can see, it is super close. Holy smokes. We go for another body slam. And if they let this go, Licky will take out this Skarmory here. And they do. You love to see it. That's a major obstacle out of the way for our Gligar. And they've got a D-Nair in the back. So that Icy Wind that we banked is going to come in clutch. There's no way they let this go, but we will get a shield advantage here, and that is precisely how it plays out. We get a few super effective Ice Shards in as well. They swap to clear that debuff, and we are going to go for the dig on this Whiscash. We need big damage on the Whiscash. That lands. They don't want to go down on shields, justifiably so, with a Dragonair on their team. And of course, we are going to shield the Scald. We don't want to tank that big, super effective damage. Shields are now even. They've got energy, and so do we. We're going to go Aerial Ace here to bait that shield. And we do successfully bait the shield with the Aerial Ace, and now we're in a good spot. They will not make it to 2 Aqua Tails in time here. All we do is we shield this Aqua Tail. We'll survive it, but better to be safe than sorry. And this dig will just about KO this Dragonair here. I don't think it'll quite KO, but I think a wing attack will bail us out here, and it does. Holy smokes. It almost KO'd. Not quite. It hung on, but good game. Well played to them. Hopefully you guys have been out there taking full advantage of this amazing event, and you have a good Gligar and a good Licky, and you can give this team a try. But here we go, another Whiscash lead. So this one, this battle took place earlier than the previous Whiscash lead that we saw. So the one that we just saw was the next day. So this one was the previous day. So I was still experimenting with how to tackle the Whiscash Skarmory core. So we catch it on the Licky. But as you saw in the last battle, you'll definitely want to catch it on Dewgong because, of course, it's resisted, obviously. But you also force that Whiscash to stay in longer to try and chip down the Dewgong, which plays to your advantage because you're able to chip away at the HP on the Whiscash a lot more effectively. But in comes the Skarm here. We are debuffed, so that adds a little bit of insult to injury on our end, guys. Not able to do nearly as much damage, of course, with that unfortunate attack drop. So now we come in with our Gligar. We do have energy bank because we did successfully catch the Scald. And we're going to do our best here and chip away at the Skarmory slowly but surely. At this point, I'm seeing not too many places for our own Gligar to go. So we're going to tank the Brave Bird to the face, but we survive. We do survive. That non-shadow bulk coming in super clutch right there. And we do take it out with a wing attack. It's all up to Dewgong to basically try and go 2v3 here. There is their own Gligar. So it is the ABA ground with Whiscash and Gligar with Skarm in the middle. Sort of Whiscash double flyer or ABA ground, however you want to describe it. Both would be accurate. And we do shield the dig. So that's a good start. And they are forced to just go Mud Bomb, which is the less energy efficient move in this matchup, which is quite nice for us. And we do let that first one go. I don't want to shield any of the Mud Bombs because I know the Gligar is still healthy and can still make it to a dig, which would hit us a lot more harder. So we are just letting these Mud Bombs go. Gonna go for another Icy Wind, of course. Take a bit of the sting off of that very spammy attack output from this Whiscash here. We want to catch this move here. We didn't quite catch, but we want to take a little bit of the pressure off here. And right there, guys, the importance of waiting a turn. Had we waited a turn and exercised a little bit of patience, I think we were in prime position to win this. Dewgong would have gone to 1v2, no problem. But because we did not wait a turn, because we were not patient, we lose, guys. So when you have your move queued up, guys, waiting a turn is you wait to see that fast attack come through and then you throw. It's impossible for them to catch if you do that. So please make note of that. Pay attention to that. And utilize that in your battles if you are unaware of that technique and Go Battle League. It will help you out tremendously, friends. So yeah, learn from my bonehead mistakes. Got a little impatient there. Lost sight of the battle, but good game. Well played to them. Yeah, guys, this is easily one of the best Gligar teams you can possibly run in the Great League. Very balanced, very flexible team right here. And here we go. Deoxys lead. Pretty decent for us because they're forced to go for their Psycho Boost, which of course does debuff them severely on their attack stat. So not a bad matchup for Gligar. And they'll usually chip and dip. Unfortunately, this trainer has played to a CMP tie that they do not win. You generally want to shy away from doing that if at all possible. But in comes an Umbreon. Very common to see behind a Deoxys because it protects Deoxys, of course, from the ghost types. Umbreon quite bulky. We're going to chip and dip into our Dewgong here. Of course, Dewgong wants to avoid the Deoxys at all costs, of course. So this is the alignment right here. Now, as far as their third, they could have a Lickitung of their own in the back. That is very, very possible, but it really could be anything. You could see an opposing Dewgong as well in the back. So that remains to be seen. We don't know just yet, but we're going to go for the Icy Wind. We're not shielding anything from Umbreon because it doesn't hit particularly hard, and we want to hold on to shields and keep the shielding scenario even here. We don't need to shield anything. They take advantage of the missile line switch clocks, and that is fine. We're going to hit this thing with an Icy Wind here, and ours should just about be up. It is, and now we're going to bring in our Lickitung to lick this thing all the way down. We have debuffed it. Not that we need to, because Licky is about as bulky as it gets, but it does help. And we will lick this thing down as they lock themselves in. So that Umbreon still hanging on by a thread. Back in it comes, and we've got a Body Slam here, locked and loaded for the Umbreon. They do let that go, and it's a Gligar of their own in its shadow form. So it was Deoxys, Umbreon, Gligar. Very interesting. I have yet to see that combination. But here we are. They go Aerial Ace on us. We do let that go. Our own Gligar is still pretty healthy, but would come in at a health disadvantage here. They are now beginning to shield. That makes perfect sense for them. And we do make it to another body slam here. We're just putting heavy pressure on this opposing Gligar here. So the play is to try and position our Dewgong to where we can get in some of that double super effective ice damage on it. So we do shield. This thing is absolutely loaded. They were trying to farm down our Lickitung, but we are not letting that happen. We do get an aerial ace off as they did expend all of their shields. And right about here, I knew this thing was loaded. I chose to no shield this, thinking that my Dewgong was healthy enough to ice shard it down, but not quite. Oh my goodness. That didn't work out. It's a race, and Lickitung wins the race with the bulk. Holy smokes. Rank 1 Licky coming in clutch right there to take it out. Good game to them. Oh man, what an exciting finish in that last one. Rank 1 Licky coming in super clutch there. But here we go. Azumarill lead, not a good lead. Gonna safe swap into our Lickitung here. And they punish us with an Umbreon counter swap. I was not expecting to see an Umbreon behind an Azumarill, to be completely honest with you guys. But here we are. This is not a good matchup for Lickitung, of course. And a lot of people should start running more Umbreon, especially on the lead, as Licky has become easily the most widely used lead option in the Great League right now. So Umbreon has never been stronger for this reason right here. It's a bad matchup because they are resisting our fast move pressure. They are bulkier and they are spammier. So yeah, just not a good matchup all around. Our body slams don't do a whole lot. But as you can see, Lickitung does hang in there, and it does put in the work. As you can see, we are keeping pace with HP on this Umbreon. So as bad as I made that sound, it's actually pretty close with Lickitung here. That's just the power of Lickitung in the Great League. And again, hopefully you guys are out there grinding this event. Get yourself a Lickitung with good IVs and get those XL candies, guys. Now is the time, but here we are. Yeah, not the most glamorous matchup, but as you can see, we drew a shield from the Umbreon. That's a misplay by them. They do not need to shield a thing from Lickitung. So that works to our advantage. We now have a shield advantage. Down goes our Licky. We're in here on a Gligar now, and I think we're going to just commit to a very aggressive and ambitious farm down. This is very aggressive farm down here, but we're going to commit to it. I don't know what else could be in the back, but I know energy on Gligar is very, very valuable. Even up against a really bad matchup like Azumarill, because we can hit it for heavy neutral damage with stab. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We had to throw an alignment there because we were capped out on energy. Now we throw one and then the move, which is proper timing. I just want to get off these back-to-back digs. And now it's time for Dewgong to do its thing here. But the Azumarill stays in to throw a move. We're happy to tank the move and hold on to the shield advantage. Dewgong about as bulky as it gets. They're not running play rough. They go Hydro Pump. And I don't know what's in the back, but it definitely doesn't want to see a Dewgong. Holy smokes. We're just going to chip it within drill run range. We are at back-to-back. So it'll be interesting to see. No, they do not shield. And oh, it's a Venusaur down a shield. So the opponent might be kicking themselves for shielding the Umbreon. That turned out to be a big misplay because Dewgong up a shield is just going to absolutely shred through this Venusaur, and they do give it up there as it was not going to happen for them. They were not farming down. Good game. Well played to them. So yeah, I had a strong feeling a lot of you guys would be looking for a strong Gligar team for your new Gligar, but here you are. This is what I wanted to show you guys. This team right here, very strong team. We've got a Trevenant. They make a clutch catch. Good on them for that. It was kind of forced because I didn't want to have to give up a shield too early. I wanted to get the damage off, and they played that beautifully. They wanted to get some Shadow Claw damage in before pivoting into a Carbink, which we see here. So Gligar actually has a lot of strong play into this team, it seems, so far. That was a theme that I was seeing with this team. Gligar just had to put in overtime on most Great League teams. I thought about coming in with Licky there, But seeing this shield, I think we can either get both of their shields or just take out this Carbank. Licky can handle it from this health range, but it can also handle Trevenant no problem. So I thought about bringing Licky in, but decided to stay in with Gligar, just take out the Carbank. That's a major obstacle out of the way for Dewgong. Back in comes the Trevenant, and we don't quite make it to an Aerial Ace, but we've got something for this Trevenant right here. Holy smokes. They've got a Superior in the back, so they're ABA Grass. What an interesting line for them. Very weak to a Gligar, which works to our advantage here, of course, as we did have a Carbank active in this matchup. But it is down, and Dewgong is in here putting in work on this Superior. They did bait us with an Aerial Ace, which is unfortunate, but we did apply a debuff, so we will very much tank this super effective Frenzy Plant a lot better, of course, with that attack drop applied. We do make it to another Icy win. This should not KO here from this health range, but it will not, it definitely will not make it to another move in time. We're still healthy enough to get in some very valuable Ice Shard damage in on this Licky and on this Trev. And the Trev was cooked, and they do top left as it did not have a prayer against our Lickitung. Good game, well played to them. This Gligar team absolutely puts in the work. I've been using it quite a bit over the past couple of days, but here we go. Buzzwole, holy smokes. I know Buzzwole generally has a Lantern in the back, but they safe swap a Bastiodon, hello? Holy smokes. So that's what I mean, guys. Gligar was having to put in tremendous overtime because a lot of Great League teams are core broken by a Gligar lead. So we're forced to stay here a little bit. It's sort of a tricky position. I really wish we had a fighter to punish this Basti safe swap. You never, ever safe swap a Basti. A good rule of thumb for you guys that are new to Go Battle League, do not ever safe swap a Pokemon that has a double weakness, such as Basti or Alolan Sandslash or Swampert. You don't want to be safe swapping those types of Pokemon because that just sets you up to get hard punished and deleted in the Great League. So we threw with bad timing to time a catch here. So I abandoned a good timing to set up this catch here, which worked out. I needed to land a dig on that thing, and back in comes the Buzzwole here. So we're basically sacking Licky, but not before putting pressure on the very squishy Buzzwole here in the Great League. Looks like they're going to try a farm down, but rank 1 Licky has something to say about that, forcing them to throw. Very good timing by them. Very good counting by them as well. They debuff themselves with a superpower. And I don't know what else could be in the back. I'm thinking there's a Lantern in the back as well. That's generally what you see with a Buzzwole lead. So we do shield that. Dewgong generally doesn't need shields to perform at its best. They're thinking long and hard here. I don't know what they're thinking about. Oh, it's a Dewgong of their own. So I was ready for a Lantern. I knew that we were one off from a dig for a potential Lantern, but it's a Dewgong, not a Lantern. So this is fine. Landing that dig was huge for us. The only thing I want to do in this mirror matchup is always stay close to a drill run for the Bastiodon, even though it is energy dry. So it's sort of a dance here, a managing of HP to make sure that we're not too low and to make sure that we do have our energy close to a drill run just in case they want to catch, because I'd like to get this Dewgong within drill run range. I know the Basti's in drill run range, so we're going to go to the back-to-back. We would survive another drill run from that Dewgong. They make a last-ditch effort, a Hail Mary catch attempt here, but it really doesn't matter. They can catch all they want. We've got another one locked and loaded for this Dewgong here, which is definitely within drill run range, and we are saying bye-bye to the Dewgong as well. So down goes the very spicy Buzzwole team, courtesy of our very strong and balanced Gligar team here. So that's the team, my friends. Good game, well played to the opponent. And yeah, I really wanted to showcase a strong Gligar team for you guys because I know a lot of you are out there grinding this event here. And what I did was I just took Team 2 from my top 5 best teams for the Great League, which is Gligar, Lantern, and Dewgong. I just took out Lantern and put Lickitung in to add a little bit more flexibility to the team. as well as feature Lickitung as well, because Lickitung is also spawning in the wild. So a tremendous opportunity to get a good Gligar, as well as really stock up on those XL candies for Lickitung. So it just made perfect sense to feature both of them on the same team. A very powerful team at that, which really does perform beautifully in the Great League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you guys.